global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our channel. Some few days ago, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, wrote to the president of the United States of America, Donald Trump. And of course, many Nigerians were wondering, why would he do that, judging the fact that he has a case right now ongoing in the judiciary, one of the federal high court in Abuja, when he had said to clear the air on what he expects, why he wrote the letter and what he's expecting. And of course, one of the presidential candidates in 2023 have also warned that history must not repeat itself, especially when it concerns the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Let's quickly dive into the news proper to find out exactly what all of this is all about. But before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel. Now, the letter written to President Donald Trump by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, otherwise known as IPOB, generated massive reactions after the excerpt from the message circulated on different media platforms. The letter, viewed by many as a last grab's attempt to save his life, generated mixed reaction as many sought to know the reasons why he decided to send the message to the American president at a time when he designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. However, according to a recent statement which was made available to the general public on Friday, November 7, 2025, he gave concrete reasons why he decided to intimate Donald Trump about the current situation in the country and the need for urgent help. Now, according to his statement, he pointed out that his bold declaration resonated with many. He further pointed out that his message ignited hope in the hearts of millions who have been abandoned, not only in Nigeria, but all over the world. In his words, and I quote word for word, "Your bold declaration on October 31st, 2025, that the United States is prepared to act militarily and court aid if Nigeria fails to protect its Christian population has ignited hope in the hearts of millions who have been abandoned by the world," he said. Then, of course, a 2023 presidential candidate of AAC, I'm talking none other than Omoyele Sowore, have decided to send a warning signal to the president and the federal government of Nigeria that history must not repeat itself in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And the former presidential candidate and human rights activist Omoyele Sowore has called on the Nigerian government to learn from his tragic past, the execution of Cain Saro-Wiwa and 8 other Ogoni activists 30 years ago. Saro-Wiwa, a renowned environmentalist and an advocate for human rights in the Niger Delta, was hanged in 1995 following what Sowore condemned as a sham trial. Orchestrated by the regime of General Sani Abacha, Sowore, who disclosed this a few hours ago, warned that Nigeria has yet to draw lessons from such historical injustice. The human rights activist recalled how 30 years ago, Nigeria witnessed the tragic loss of Cain Saro-Wiwa, a distinguished environmentalist, along with 8 other Ogoni individuals who fought for environmental justice and the protection of rights in the Niger Delta region. According to the former presidential candidate, Saro-Wiwa was cruelly executed by the Nigerian elite through a contrived sham trial under the regime of the General Sani Abacha in 1995. Now, despite this incident, Nigeria and its leaders have not learned from their past mistakes, and this November, another life may be compromised in the pursuit of self-determination. A judge is scheduled to rule on Nnamdi Kanu's case on November 20th, 2025, potentially perpetuating a cycle of violence and injustice. We honor the memory of Cain Saro-Wiwa and that similar tragedies will not be tolerated ever again, he added. It was also earlier reported that the Amnesty International renewed its call for their full exoneration of the Ogoni leaders by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led government, marking 30 years of their bringing down. The global human rights advocacy organization said that the Ogoni 1995 were part of a campaign to silence peaceful protests against oil pollution in the Niger Delta, area. The anniversary coincides with the start of the UN Climate Conference COP30 in Brazil. The Ogoni 9, led by writer and campaigner Ken Saro-Wiwa, were executed on November 10, 1995, following what Amnesty described as a blatantly unfair trial. The men were accused of involvement in the murder of 4 traditional chiefs, but Amnesty maintained that they were targeted for challenging Shell's environmental destruction in Ogoni land. In a statement marked the 30th anniversary, Amnesty International Nigeria Country Director Isan Sanusi said that the government must go beyond pardoning the men and officially clearing their names. The Ogoni 9, led by Nigerian leading author and campaigner Ken Saro-Wiwa, were executed in 1995 by a regime that wanted to hide the crimes of Shell and other oil companies. These companies were destroying and continuing to destroy the lives and livelihood of tens of thousands of people across Niger Delta as a result of their devastating oil spills and leaks, Sanusi said. While their pardon was a step forward, the Ogoni 9 deserves full exoneration. These men were executed for a crime they did not commit. Their friends, family have been through enough and they deserve justice. Okay, now in June 2025, the Nigerian government granted a posthumous pardon to the activists, but Amnesty said the gesture fell short of justice and urged for their complete exoneration to restore their reputations. For families of the executed activists, the pain and fight for justice continues. Esther Koebe, wife of Dr. Barinem Koebe, one of the Ogoni 9, has spent 3 decades challenging Shell in court and demanding her husband's name be cleared. My husband was brought down like a criminal, and all I wanted was for his name to be exonerated. That's what I still want, she said. My father used to tell me a good name is better than gold or silver. That is what gave me the strength to fight. Amnesty International long-term investigation have accused Shell of complicity in the Nigerian military campaign against the movement for the survival of the Ogoni people, MASSOP, which Saro-Wiwa led. Extensive reporting from Amnesty International concluded that oil companies Shell knowingly provided encouragement and movement to the military authorities to stop the MASSOP protests, even after the authorities repeatedly committed human rights violations in Ogoni land and specifically targeted Ken Saro-Wiwa and MASSOP, Sanusi said. Well, all of this, I think it's commensurate to the fact that this is another anniversary. My goodness, how time flies. And Omoyele Sowore is already warning again that there should not be a repeat in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and that justice should not just be served, it should be seen served, not just be seen served, but it should also actually be served. And the fact that a whole lot has gone down the drain, and we should, in all honesty, correct our wrongs and get it right. And most Nigerians are wondering, why is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu writing to Donald Trump? Well, would he come down from US to Nigeria to come and help him? He is a British citizen and not an American citizen. Well, he has explained why. That's what we're going to wrap it up. Let's meet in our comment section.